Well, welcome. I'm in Gloucester. To some people, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you might find this beginning bit the amazing part of the video. But there's lots of other lovely places, Gloucester. Behind me, we've got Gloucester Cathedral, which beautiful, to be fair. Bit of work going on, but I'm just going to flick the camera around to the front. And this is going to be one of those videos where I'm a little bit shy about using it in public. So, not quite sure if I'm going to be stopping and starting all the time and feeling a bit self-conscious, but you got to learn somehow, haven't you? Walking up the high street and stuff. But there's lots of nice places around Gloucester. I'm down here with work at the minute. Got time on my hands until I'm going to work later, so I'm just going to go for a little walk around and do a little video to show what it's like. I'm going to flick the camera around in a second and show you what I can see. Part of the cathedral grounds is part of the King's School in Gloucester. I've seen kids walking in and out, teachers and stuff in some of these old buildings. This little cloister house there, but I think it's actually part of the school. This is all fenced off for some reason. Maybe it's protected from damage, but that's the cathedral up there. The old cathedral's pretty impressive. Famously, this cathedral was used for lots of scenes from Harry Potter movies. Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets. Not quite sure, I didn't watch them myself. I was never really a fan. Never quite took to it. But some people might recognise it if I manage to get in, if it's open. But yeah, several of the scenes were filmed here. Across a number of the films. Hoping this sun comes out to make things a little bit better. Been reading up on Gloucester a little bit just to find out what the interesting parts are, but obviously it's got a couple of museums, it's got the cathedral here, it's got a couple of churches and clocks and what have you around the town centre, obviously mixed in with all the modern stuff, but some of it's really nice, really old, some old traditional shops and that. But from what I can gather, it's mainly famous for Harry Potter. A few other bits in the past which I'm not too sure about. Yeah, very pretty cathedral, looked after like they all are. This is around the other side. I might be wrong, but this looks a little bit smaller than the cathedral we had in York the other day. And the one in Lincoln. But they're all massive structures, aren't they? But always got to look up as well. Impressive work, isn't it? sun's out, so I'm going to have a walk around. And then round to the docks now, I think, and then come back into town. Gloucestershire County Council Hall by the looks of it. Sad as it is, I've had a constant smell of weed walking around the centre here at the minute, which I just don't like the smell of it. I know people do it all the time and stuff, but I just don't like the smell of weed in public, people walking around. That over there is the old Blackfriars Monastery. The path will take you up into the centre there. The car park's just off the centre, but pretty pricey parking. That's where I am. Can't see any access to that. Yeah, so I'm going to head down to the docks, which is mainly residential apartments, shops, bars, that kind of thing, I reckon. Modern dockland area these days. Got some stairs coming up across the way. Let's have a look at this over here a minute. So you've got a fairly old building there, and then at some point this bit of the side here, somebody's replaced it, but it looks like there's still part of an old arch and brickwork bit, and then they've put the modern bricks on top of it. Very odd, but they've left it, I guess. It's just one of those places you can't really see. Over there I can see the water. That's a little set of steps going down the side. Custom House Museum up here. There's a museum, The Soldiers of Gloucestershire. I did see a bit about it online last night, talking about people in historic wars, World War I, World War II. I'm guessing the entrance is just down on the dock side. And a little walk down these steps. Gloucester Docklands. And this is the entrance to the museum, at a guess. I think that's the sort of thing that the Russians are using in Ukraine at the minute, I would imagine. It's quite nice. It's been a nice place to live. All these apartments. A couple of bars up there as well. Bars and restaurants. Pretty nice. Just going to have a look what this monument is. This big spike. Beautiful day again. 17th or 18th of September at the minute. So summer's coming late to the UK as usual. Pretty cool, all of them. Nice places, ice cream shops. Lots of barges along here. I don't know if this leads right out into the sea or there must be some canals or something. I believe there's another dock over around the side there as well. Bigger one than this, so we'll have a look for it. That's some old church up there as well. And an old hoist parking off to the side there as well. You coming here?
It's so true. So true.
Obviously, living in Hull, we have a marina as well, which it's undergone a lot of transformation over the last few years. Used to be quite a tacky place, ours, but used to get like stag parties and parties coming in from Newcastle for the weekend back in the 90s. But it got a bit tatty. They pulled a couple of the bars down and they just literally just stripped it all back. And then they work with what they've got. So we've got old dock buildings and what have you. So we've got museums and restaurants, bars, galleries, little shops. It's actually really cool now. It's one of the main places to go if you like a gin. There's a chapel there, Mariners Chapel. Have a little walk around the back. Back out again. A lot of this around the back here looks like it's residential. Lots of apartments and things, probably quite a desirable place to live. Not so much car parking unless there's an entrance where they can get underground and park the cars. But it suits office staff, I guess. People who don't need a car, younger couples. Yeah, this is just a bit more open along here. Greek restaurant over there. You can walk all the way around by the looks of it. Got another hoist over there in the distance. Some locks over there which will take you to the canals. Right beside the lock warehouse. Loads of apartments. Various types of boats, pleasure boats, longboats. Stuff having work done over there by the looks of it. Can't really say a lot at the minute. Can't say a lot at the minute with this police helicopter hovering overhead. It just keeps going around in circles. Typical, I finally find somewhere quiet to have a chat. We have that thing mooching about. You might have noticed I'm a little bit quiet when I'm talking. It's not because I'm not excited. It's because I'm nervous. I'm not used to filming around people. So anytime I walk around and I see people coming past me, I tend to automatically lower my voice. It's almost like a whisper at times, but this is part of the thing of when you've not done something like this before, and we've only done a few videos up to now. It's not too bad when you're on holiday and that, but it's just a little bit unnerving. You're just wondering what people are thinking. Around the corner there's a couple of lads pointing at me and look at that idiot, but you just can't get over that weird feeling about it. When you're not used to talking to camera, this is kind of what you have. It's a little bit strange, but it's something you've got to get over really if you're going to walk around and blog stuff and show various bits and bobs. But it's not because I'm being dull, it's because I'm just genuinely a bit nervous. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around now and start filming a bit of the local stuff. Right, just had to calibrate again. Wasn't very level. So that is the Mariners Chapel from that side. Over here we've got a really old boat, which is obviously used for, it looks like buckets at the far end over there, for dredging stuff up from below. It goes right into the water. Not quite sure what it's for. The buckets come up from there up into a hoist and then into the front of the ship. Kind of weird. It's obviously scooping stuff up from maybe the bottom of the docks or canals and stuff like that, and then hoisting it all up and then just dumping it somewhere else onto the ship. It's quite interesting. It'd be nice to see that in action really. We'll go for a walk around the front bit here. Nice big open square over there. Let's have a look at that. A few shops. The estate agent, a couple of cafes and stuff along there. You can go, oh, this looks like a cafe as well. The boat on the rocks. The boat on the docks even. Doesn't look like it's open at the minute. Let's see if we can keep this camera rolling around here. Challenge.
That one's got busy.
I don't know what to do.
Hello.
Hello! Obviously a viewer or a fan or somebody who likes being on camera. It's quite funny when that happens really. Yes mate, your voice is going on the internet to be viewed by about 20 people. Fame. Kids will do anything for fame. Yeah, this is beautiful around here, Gloucester Quays. The Lord High Constable of England pub there. Yeah, of course it's the Wetherspoons. Anything nice, but then again, to be fair, Wetherspoons do take old buildings and they keep them in, you know, they do them up to the extent that they embellish what's already in there and they make it look really nice, and they work around the historic stuff in the building. They don't just rip it all out and start afresh. So fair play to Wetherspoons for that. I'm guessing this area is one of the main nighttime places around Gloucester. Reminds me a bit of the docks at Hull on the marina. Brasserie there. We've got a Nando's next door. Got Pizza Express. This is obviously where people come on a night to eat and have a few beers. The Real Greek. Zizzy, Wagamama, the usual suspects. All up there. couple of bars and stuff. Must be nice on a night here when the sun's out, which rarely happens in England, as you know. But yeah, they've really worked on the Docklands area and made it the hub of the town, really. Like a lot of things happen, the town itself suffers when that happens. So you get your empty shops, but what can you do? People want to go somewhere pretty. A bit there, you've got a lot of shops. Gloucester Quays, All Saints, which is a decent shop. Hundreds of sewing machines. But yeah. That looks like the main shopping district, and inside there you've also got Gloucester Quays, nice shops and stuff. There's a cathedral in the background there. Probably walked a little way here. Don't like filming shops, shopping centres. I spend a lot of my life inside shops and shopping centres with work. The last I checked, I'm not on the clock. TGI Fridays just off to my left there. Let's go and have a head round the back here. Yeah, so I'm going to head out the centre now to the park. I'm going to have a little walk around there. It's got to be a boating lake. There's always a boating lake. But yeah, you actually breathe a sigh of relief when you walk away from the crowds. So there again, I stopped talking because people were there. I don't like talking in front of people. I can find talking to people or talking to my partner when we're around people. But it's a weird thing. When you've got a camera pointed at you, you just feel really self-conscious. So you just stop and you think, I'll edit that out later. I know people who've been doing this for a couple of years who still get a little bit self-conscious about things like that. Yeah, so I get a lot of downtime with work. I tend to travel all over the country, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, Wales. I tend to spend a lot of time in Scotland. Have done in the past, not so much in recent months, but I travel all over. So I will find out probably today, tomorrow, what I'm doing next week. Sometimes I do projects where I know what I'm doing from 1 week to the next for months. And I've just finished off an 8-month project, which means that I'm just kind of in between projects at the minute. So I'm helping out one of the project managers I know, picking up a lot of stuff for him at the minute. Some bits for other people. But yeah, it means that I can travel around quite a bit. London next week, I believe. But yeah, I can be up at John O'Groats 1 minute. I was in Devon last week. I was in South West Wales, Haverfordwest, about as far as you could go. So what I do is when I'm working and I get a bit of downtime, you can either sit in a hotel room or you can go out and explore some of the areas. So my thinking is, yeah, why not? Obviously started up this YouTubing, and suddenly there's lots of interesting places to look at, which makes sense really because it kills a bit of time. But I'm not just filming things local to me. I get to see a little bit of the country. you get to see a little bit of the country. And there is a park up there, but I don't think there's a way in up here. Let's go and have a look around. Yeah, so I travel a lot. Lucky in a sense, I'm not stuck in an office. I've had times in the past where I've been sat in an office most of the week and I find that pretty boring, but generally I'm in engineering, so I'm mobile, so I get to travel at one time just round Hull, but to different locations. Another time I was round Yorkshire on a different job, you know, mainly keeping it regional. I'll just show you this. Just setting up. Obviously going to be going on over probably the next couple of weeks. Kids play park area over there. And I'm hoping this will bring me back round towards the town centre. So yeah, so I get to travel a lot. Good in some ways, but the driving can get you down a little bit. Some extended bits of driving, which can be quite harsh, and then working shifts around it. But I love it really. Spend quite a bit of time away from home, so I'm always happy to come back on a weekend and see the family. But I've noticed other bloggers tend to go around and they're kind of restricted around work, and you're always restricted in terms of the distances you can travel to be able to get video content. But not so much for me. I can travel around, spend a couple of days in an area, multiple areas. And just pick up different bits of footage and visit different places. I've probably been to Gloucester a couple of times before, but I'll sit in the hotel. I won't do much. I'll chill out. The opportunity to walk around and just see what's around me. Obviously, Gloucester Cathedral earlier, I didn't want to go inside. There's organised tours in there. It's a little bit, makes you a little bit conscious of what you're doing and whether, you know, ultimately it's a church, so you feel like, should I really be filming inside a church? So I chose not to go in there. So I've missed all the Harry Potter stuff, sorry about that. But yeah, out in the open where it's quiet is where it's best, but I'll have to get better at doing it around people. There's another example there. Walking past somebody, you don't want to speak properly, as if you're talking to a camera. So you automatically lower your voice and go quiet, even though the guy had earphones in. Happened again there. So I guess realistically, I just want to sort of show what Gloucester has to offer, what the centre's like. I know that people who are planning on coming to Gloucester already know what Gloucester's got. But as I found with holiday videos and blogs, you go to a hotel complex, other people have booked to go there. I've noticed there was quite a lack of videos on YouTube, both for our resort and for the hotel itself, so I made a couple of videos of that, obviously on the channel there. But people who, we in particular, like to know a little bit about the apartments or the hotels where we're staying, what's beside it, what's around it. So we tend to, I'm hopefully putting a few videos on there of Cyprus, just so that, you know, anybody else that's looking, it fills in the gaps for them a little bit, showing them where various like kids play areas are in the complex, where the restaurant is, where the pools are, what the apartment blocks look like, what the rooms look like. And it's just to give people, some people get a bit funny about, it might look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside it looks terrible, as in the rooms. But that way, anybody who's a little bit unsure about that hotel can have a look, and they can see what it's really about before booking. Enjoy deciding where I'm going to go, where I'm going to film. It's a confidence thing, just to see if I can do it, really. I'm too old for football, playing football. Not interested in watching football. And I've got time on my hands, so I'm lucky in a sense that I can do this, and the interest is still really strong at the minute. But I want to be able to improve all the time as well. So this now, I will look back on hopefully in a year's time and be a lot better at doing this. I'm not worried about walking past people talking, but we'll see. High streets like around here. Pedestrianised area. It's an old furniture shop from years gone by. Actually walking up a road there before. I'd put the camera and the gimbal away, and I was just holding the gimbal. I was going to grab something to eat. Some guy just walked past me and said "nom," and that's when I was just holding the gimbal.
What's the best food?
Colour faded, a lot of them books. Yeah, so I wasn't even holding the camera. I was just holding the gimbal and he called me a knob, so yeah. That was interesting. I don't know what gets in people's heads where they have to call people names like that. Even if I'm holding the camera up now and somebody wants to call me a knob, call me a knob. He's walking around without a camera, just talking to himself or calling people knobs. Like a lot of these old towns, lots of old mixed with the new. It's actually a lovely place right across from that hotel here. Old. It's one of the Follies, I believe. I'm just staying up here. But yeah, another little church at the side there. There's something around the back as well. I think that's Greyfriars. So we're going to have a wander over the back. There's supposed to be something else nice around here. I'm not really one for going in churches, graveyards now and again, but church is a church, innit? A lot of the time, once you're in one. Some of them are pretty old and decrepit. Some places will look after them. Like some old council building, and there's a shopping centre over there which I won't bother with. I'll go and show you some bits from the front. I'm actually staying in that place there, the New County Hotel. Looks a little bit, obviously opening something up downstairs at some point. It's a company called Rooms Booked that owns them. A few hotels in the area, around the country apparently. But the rooms are actually really nice. The reception area and the corridors are a little bit tatty, skirting board hanging off, but you can tell they're going to get to them at some point. Really surprised with the room though. Nice modern bathroom. Bed's a little bit uncomfortable. Pillows are rubbish. It's got a fridge, a microwave, a nice bench, cutlery, tin openers. So if you were staying for a while and you wanted to cater for yourself, you could make some stuff. There's a shopping centre over there, the Eastgate. Never been in there, thankfully. So, around Pound Land near the entrance to the Eastgate appears to be where all the spice head people seem to hang around. or walking around in various states. It's ironic really, you've got a Costa and it's in what must be one of the most beautiful buildings, Gloucester. But what I wanted to show you is over here, jewellers, watchmakers. The top on that. That's really impressive. Probably works at some times as well. Then again, over on the corner, St Michael's Tower. A bit of busking down there, we'll go and see that. Jazzman, saxman. So walking around the other side of the East Gate. Not going anywhere near the East Gate. The town centre is pretty busy with shops, to be fair. I've not seen many empty places. Pretty high occupancy. Dogs on scooters. Dogs on scooters, dogs on bikes, brilliant. Pretty good sax player. Not quite sure what's around here, but we'll have a look. Tempted to buy a hot dog, but I think I'll give it a miss. Nice impressive front, which hides the hell inside, no doubt.